in Kelowna, in Canada, a fucking 9-year-old cis girl got called out for winning the competition by a fucking transphobe who thought that she was trans. And it's really fucked up, and it's made international news, and it's pretty wild to see that. Like, I was just in Kelowna like 2 weeks ago. It's nuts that it's like it's all over now. That guy, like, God damn, you know.
I purposely did not look at, like, when it comes to kids and this kind of shit. It bothers me to a point where I can't even like consume the information to cover it. But yeah, tell us, Mike, what was the story about?
Yeah, so it was at a track meet or something. It was some event, and there was this boomer dude who I don't know if he yelled at the girl directly, but there was yelling because she was crying, according to her parents, because she had a pixie haircut. When it was her turn to compete or whatever, he said, "Why are they letting boys compete?" And so he then was pointing at her, saying she's obviously trans. And then he pointed to another little girl with short hair, apparently. And and she has two moms, right? So that's probably part of what, like, because he probably thought, okay, these are. He should have, but they did ban him from every single sporting event. But his wife then started to call the two moms groomers, pedophiles, mutilators.
Where did you get that? Like, where is that coming from, right? Like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, this is the fucking indoctrination from all these right-wing YouTubers. God
they
damn.
would have told an ass whooping out of this world, a cut ass. They need, listen, people that these are white people. Everybody involved was white.
Yes.
Yeah.
They should have fucked them up. This would have been, they should have beat their ass. What are you talking about? What is the point? Please exercise your white privilege, white ladies. Next time, swing on them. Swing on them. Okay, you will be A-okay. Whoop ass. Like, what are you talking about? Foolishness. Let them say what's your turn.
It's not only so fucked up. Like, when you see the photo of the dude, he clearly, like, the guy is probably taking some form of, let's just say, gender affirming care. He's quite swole. He's quite large. He may be. Or
he's an old man too. He's like an old guy.
He's a very old man.
He's 63. Joseph Tassar. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's jacked. He may be taking gender affirming care in some form or another. He may be taking hormone supplements. I don't know. I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying, why are you calling out kids? He didn't even have a kid in the fucking track meet. He's just showing up there being like, "Oh, you're all trans, blah, blah." I was like, oh my God, this is wild. I knew this shit was going to happen because, like, there's way more cis people than there's trans people.
Yep.
And now there's transphobia, and the bigotry is going to spill over. And now we have all these stories. Like, have y'all seen the one where there was a cis woman in a bathroom and she started filming because another woman in the bathroom was like, you have to identify yourself. What gender are you identifying as now? Like, you know, you're not supposed to be in the right bathroom. I was like, this shit is fucking wild. Like, there's investigations going on, you know, the internet and shit.
Also with short hair, like, that's this woman. She said she didn't have a problem before with her with her short hair, but she did have a problem then. And she was harassed by a woman. This was in last May, I want to say. And all because of short hair. So now, like, if you don't perfectly align with your gender identity or perceived gender identity, then you could be the subject of transphobic harassment, because this little girl just had a pixie haircut, and it wasn't even like a very short pixie. Like, it was like basically like, you know, it looked like it's like a common haircut, you know.
Cheers.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
She could have any child over anything. You got fucking issues. Like, this is.
That's the problem, and I've been saying this all along. That's the problem with cis women not realizing, like, you playing into transgender, all this transphobia and all this rhetoric designed to harm trans people, but it will expand and come to us, because now you're gonna live in a world where people are they're invading your privacy and exposing you to danger, trying to figure out what your gender is and blah 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 blah. And you are helping foster a world, like, I've been saying it, like, people need to stop caring about other marginalized people as doing them a favor, and perceive it as looking out for yourself. If they come for them in the morning, they'll come for you at night. I keep saying that. Like, it doesn't even have to be you. It does not have to be out of altruism and caring about other people. You can make it purely about yourself. They gonna get them, and then they gonna get you. Now look. Oh.
Yeah, and this whole, like, phenomenon with transvestigating kids it's scary how quickly it's growing. Like Megan Fox even had to respond because one of these right-wing politicians, I think Robbie Starbuck or whatever, he posted a picture of her and her children. She goes out of her way to avoid posting pics of her kids because one of her kids, her oldest kid, is gender non-conforming, and she just lets them wear whatever they want to wear. So they were assigned male at birth, but they wear female clothes, and she's just letting her kid be a kid. But, you know, this dude posted a photograph of her with her kids online and saying, oh, she makes them all wear girls' clothing and forces them to. I used to know her, actually. And like, so one of her kids is wearing, like, presumably female clothing. But the other two, like her other two sons, they just have, like, long hair. That's it. Like, they're not wearing girls' clothes. So they're trying to transvestigate, you know, the kids of somebody who's trying to keep her kids out of the spotlight because they're getting bullied for things like this. And this is like a very prominent conservative online. Like it's getting scary to where like they're actually going after kids. Like it's psychopathic behavior.
I got to issue a quick correction. Apparently, the person who was being transphobic, his granddaughter was playing in the track meet. It was a grand. And chat corrected me, and I will issue that correction. Yes.
I will say that the local news affiliate Castanet interviewed him afterwards, and you could tell he was so full of shit with everything that he said. Like where he basically admitted that he was transphobic, but he didn't yell. Apparently, he's like, no, I quietly went over to the school official and I asked them why they're letting boys play. It's like, okay, then why was the little girl crying then? Like you very clearly weren't just saying that. Oh, and another one crazy aspect about this story is that he wanted papers to prove that this was actually a little cis girl.
Yeah, he demanded papers. And like, you keep making fun of this shit where it's just like, you know, right wingers are actually being like, I want to inspect your genitals. That's supposed to be like a meme. It's actually happening. Like, that's fucked. That's incredibly fucked. Like this is like where it was leaded.
I saw this shared by Trap Queen Enthusiast here. No, it's the flags that are wrong. Like, how do these freaks not how do these people not fucking understand?
Yeah, leave kids alone.
It's one thing for conservative media to push this shit out there and, you know, indoctrinate people. It's another for morons to fucking fall for it. Like, the media knows what they're doing, and they're obviously you know, in the wrong and should face all the blame. But when you have people consuming this shit and actually believing it, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, how fucking dumb do you have to be?
It's really frustrating because
it's frustrating.
Yeah, like you and Emma Vigeland made some really good points in an exchange that you had with Ryan Grimm. I included that in my video, actually, where it's like this whole, like this hysteria, this adult grandfather transvestigating a child, it stems from this whole bullshit around like trans athletes in sports. When if you look at the number, so the total number, the estimated number of trans athletes at like colleges, it's 100, less than 100. The total number of trans athletes in K through 12 is about 50. So we're talking about such a small portion of the population that statistically speaking, you are more likely to get bit by a shark than to encounter a trans kid in K through 12. Like, that's literally where we're at. Like, it's such a small portion of the population, right? There's probably more members of the Flat Earth Society than there are trans athletes. But this is like the biggest issue. Yeah, thank you. Seeing people watch the video. Yeah, I worked really hard on that video, so I'm glad that people really like that. Because yeah, it's such a non-issue, and it's disingenuous because the way that they approach this is they pretend as if they care about women's sports. When you have like actual athletes who are saying it's not trans people who are the problem, it's funding. Look at our weight room compared to the guys' weight room. This was a viral TikTok from Sedona Prince at the University of Oregon. You know, they're saying, hey, these are the issues here. We have so little funding compared to the guys. We don't even get like swag bags as good as men at the tournaments, but you're focused on trans people. We're telling you what the issue is. If you care about sports, listen to us. So
it's
the whole thing
they don't actually fucking care about women's sports. Of course they fucking don't. It's all a fucking act.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
The wild thing is like the journalism too. Like, why is it that like journalists are failing so much in this moment? It's like on one side, the right wing is basically being like, we want to eradicate this group of people. And all of a sudden the newspapers, Washington Post, BBC, you name it, let's both sides this. Let's talk to detransitioners, even though like less than 5% of people who undergo like gender affirming care detransition. So let's platform them, and then all of a sudden this is the debate, and now it's a debate. It's like, this is not a debate.